Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to trade the true mechanical structure. Now, this is very important because most of you, the way you mark your swing highs, swing lows is actually wrong. And this is why most of your trades tends not to go to the way it should. I know that trading is the game of probability, but once you have an understanding of this, you know that, okay, you know what to do at every given time. So I'm going to use this illustration in this video while I show you on the chart, and we're going to do a real life example today. All right, so literally, please like the video, subscribe to the channel in case you've not. So first, I'm going to take this. I want you to, you can screenshot this, all right, because I really want you to study this. This is very important because once you begin to study this, you will have an understanding of the market overall. All right, so literally we're going to do the explanations, and this is how we are going to do it. So you see price, this is a downward movement. This is a downward movement, and we can call this a downtrend, right? We can call this a downtrend. So what do you do in downtrend market? You simply sell, right? Meaning that it is very important you understand exactly how these things work. So first thing first, you must understand structure, and most people begins to take literally every pullback as structure. This is absolutely wrong, right? And most times what we draw as structure is not actually structure, right? We draw the wrong areas as structures, whereas in the real sense is not market structure. I will show you an example. So this is an example. I have this as structure, and we also have this little pullback in between. All right, so most of you will mark here as structure and still mark here as structure. So at this point you are confused, so you are going to take your buys here, and all of a sudden price goes down and break this structure. Let's assume that you've even identified this as break of structure. All right, we assume that let's change the color once more. Okay, so you identify that this is a break of structure. That's quite all right, but taking trade, it's another problem, and we are going to fix it in this video. So this, most of you will be selling here, and this is not the actual spot to sell because it is the smart money trap we have been talking about in the channel, right? So literally what you need to do is you have to wait for an inducement to be taken. And another thing, most of you take inducement for change of character and engineer liquidity. So there are actually different things you have to understand. So I'm going to cover almost everything in this particular video. So we have a break of structure here, right? Meaning that we can mark our low, and we can actually mark our, but now I want you to understand this. We can mark our high, but this low is not confirmed yet. Why? Because we don't know how long price will continue to go down. All right, the only way we see that price will confirm is when there is an inducement takeout, when inducement have been taken just like this. So we can actually sell here and look for sell here. So it's not also compulsory that price must tap into your order block to sell, or your supply and demand. There are different variations to this. One of the way to do this is you can simply identify a valid imbalance in the chart. For instance, in this case, this is a valid imbalance entry, and believe me, it's going to work perfectly once you have an understanding on how these things work, right? So now that we see this as a valid pullback, right? This is a valid pullback, right? So we want to see this high taken. So once price takes this high, we want to look for entry opportunities on lower time frame, and ride it to this low, because in this scenario this is a weak low. And take note of this, there is no confirmation until inducement is taken. So now that inducement have been taken, this low can be confirmed. So automatically we can mark this low as our low, as our swing low, right? Meaning any retracement we can actually buy. We can buy into our point of interest after this low have been confirmed, right? Before we write it down. Same thing, as price kept coming down, we see internal swings, right? But most times this that this stuff we call internal swings are not actually internal swing, but rather they are single movement. When we go to the chart, I'm going to share with you how to identify this single movement and how you can, get the right market structure. This is mechanical in nature. Once you have an understanding of this, it's going to improve on your trading in total generally, right? So we have another break of structure here. So after the break of structure, we want to identify a valid inducement point, right? So one of the way to do that is to identify valid pullback, right? Most times this is not a valid pullback. So the fact that it did something like this doesn't mean it's valid. I will explain more once we go to the chart. So we have this price taking this high, but this is not a valid one, but rather the valid one is here. And this is why most of you take your trade here and it's as though price just blasts through your trade before going down. The reason is simple. This is smart money trap. So we have said that this is not valid, right? So this is smart money trap, and most times the other one becomes engineered liquidity, right? So engineered liquidity is a conscious is when the banks and the institutions consciously leave a particular zone and they will intend to come back for it later, right? That's engineered liquidity in a layman's language and understanding. So literally we have this pullback and price mitigates this order block. So this time around, this is order block entry. The first one was just mere imbalance, while this one is order block entry. So what we want to see, we can actually go to lower time frame and look for further confirmations. Same thing, we want to see change of character, we want to see inducement taking or engineered liquidity is taking, and we want to ride it into this major 15 minutes low. Right now, what you do in the process is this: once price begins to go to your direction, you can either decide to take partials or decide to move stop loss or hold till the entire zone. It all depends on your trading skill, on your trading strategy, or your risk appetite in general. So another thing you must understand is this. Now we have another break of structure here, right? So this is another break of structure. What are we looking for? We are waiting for inducement, and price comes in, induced this area, tapped into the zone, and price began to push to the downside. Same thing happened. We have a break of structure. This is not the valid pullback, so we are not going to take this as our inducement, but rather what we do is we simply wait for the valid pullback to be taken. And what happened? Price comes in, takes it out, we just have to sell. Now most people will also sell here, but like I said, this is smart money trap. So most times you are going to be trapped into this, right? Like there's going to be an intention of price going down, but all of a sudden price pushed up, takes out everything, creating a flip entry. So this could be a zone you might want to enter. That's if you see your confirmations, right? But in this case, price created the flip zone and decide to push down. Take note, once there is inducement, once inducement have been taken, like I said, it's not always necessary to wait for order block. You can simply, take a trade based on the candle formation, right? And I will explain that later on. So we have this, and I want you to also see this. We have this as a valid, we have this as a break of structure, right? But there is no confirmation of this high yet. There's no confirmation of this high yet. So what we do to confirm this high, we just have to see inducement taken. And what happened? Price comes in, take out this zone, and meaning this has been confirmed. So this is our dealing range. This is our dealing range. So for those of you who trade with Fibonacci retracement tool, this is when you can actually pull your tool and you take your look for entries right there. You look for both the discount, the premium, and whatever you want to look out for. All right, and you can decide to mark your points of interest. And for marking points of interest is very, very important as well, because this can also determine whether you succeed in this or not. So we have this as a mitigation. This case, you can go to lower time frame and look for further confirmations for entries. Once you have been able to spot this, don't hesitate. Even if you lose some trades in a row, don't hesitate, keep moving, because you never can tell the trade that will pay you. But the important part is you just have to understand the market and go for high probability setup. Once you go for high probability setups, these are going to improve your trading, and in generally it's going to improve your your trading profit. All right, so we have another break of structure here, and what we have a valid pullback here, right? So what we'll do is wait for that pullback to be taken, and price takes this, and price decides to use the breaker block this time. So I've actually mentioned 3 points of interest, 3 ways you can take your entries after you have confirmed structure. First is through the imbalance, which I shared with you here. Second is through your supply and demand zone, which could be your order block. And the third is the breaker block. So literally either of these is going to be valid, but you just have to know the ones that you want to pick. All right, especially on the lower time frame, you have to be mechanical. What it means is you just have to be strict. You have to have a structure on ground that you want to follow. So we have this as our inducement taken out. So now that we see our inducement have been taken out, what we do is we can keep buying, right, until this high which have been confirmed is taken, and this case we buy here. So this other one is just we have something like this, right? Good, right? So we also have price coming down and taking out this valid low as well. So immediately that's taken out, this high is confirmed, meaning it's confirmed. The reason why it's confirmed is because inducement have been taken. So price comes in, tap into the zone, and what do you look for? Look for entry here and ride it up. So literally you can boost your trading entirely and exponentially once you have an understanding of this in the market. All right, so let's go to the chart, and I'm going to show you exactly how to put this to work. So the first thing here, can we actually shift this a little bit higher, right? Because I might intend to use this for Instagram. So do well to follow me on Instagram and Telegram. Check the video description to join us. It's free. All you have to do is click the link and join the channel. Okay, so let's shift this a little bit. Ouch. Okay, I'm gonna shift this, pardon me please. All right, because I want everything to be clear to you guys, because until you really have understanding of how these things work, it will be difficult for you to succeed generally. So that's why it's very, very important that you have a general understanding of price action and how you can approach the market. Okay, so let's hide this for now. All right, so on the 4-hour time frame, I think we can use the replay feature if you want. I think I'm going to do that perhaps when we go to lower time frame, just to explain to you some trades. There are some trades that I personally took today that I said that I'm going to make a video on, and here is the video. Okay, so literally we want to see I'm coming. All right, so let's mark structure. Now take note, we only want to mark recent market structures. Recent market structure is what we want to mark. So the first thing here is we're going to draw our zone, which is this, and in this case we have our break of structure. So after our break of structure, what can we do? We can mark the swing points. I'm going to mark them for you so that you understand. So all these here, you see, all these are single move, but most of you have been taught that this is not that. This is the swing point, right? It is not. This is not the swing point. Once you begin to act and trade this way, you are going to do the wrong thing on the long run, right? So literally what you want is to understand exactly how things work. So this is just a single move. We have our break of structure, so we can begin to identify a valid pullback. So to know a valid pullback, one of the way is the previous, for a bullish market, the previous candle must be taken out by the new candle, right? So for instance, if we're buying, if the market is going to the upside. The bullish candle should be able to take out to close above the bearish candle. That's how you know valid pullback. So this whole range, the valid pullback is here like this. So this is where we have the valid pullback. So all of this is a single move, right? And most of you have been taught that we have this, and it's not true. One of the reasons is you can see this candle, right? Look at this candle and look at this candle. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles closed inside this single candle. The fact that it closed inside this single candle means that it is not a valid pullback as well. That is just a single move. So by the time you begin to pick this as, you know, separate pullbacks, you will see that you are not going to get it right most of the time. All right. So that's just for the explanation sake. Now let's go to the chart. So as you can see, this candle have taken all the liquidity behind. So, and this one had mitigated. Let me mark them for you so you can see. All right. So this is the actual one, but this one have mitigated it. So we move it to this zone because this is the one that have the proper imbalance. So in this case, we can actually draw this and call this the 4-hour zone. So let's call this the 4-hour demand zone. Let's make this 4-hour, right? 4-hour, right? Because I want you to follow me, guys, because it's very important that we understand this. Now, after you've identified this zone, because this is a valid zone, right? And now we have a break of structure. This high has been confirmed, right? This low have been confirmed because these are lowest points that broke structure, but high have not been confirmed yet. The only way to confirm the high is when what inducement is taken. And where is our inducement? So we simply have to look at the chart. We look to the left side, all right, not current price. Look to the left side, all right. So in this case, price get pushing, and we have this. So at first we have this as our valid inducement. This is our valid inducement, all right, because if you look at this candle, you see this candle, right? This is a selling candle which looks like the doji. The next candle took it out, right? And you see same thing happened here. This one looks like selling candle. The next candle took both the low and the high out, so this becomes our valid inducement. So after you've marked out your inducement, the next thing is you mark out your points of interest. Now, how do you identify your points of interest? One of the way to identify your the way to identify your points of interest is this. So it's very, very important, right? So we're going to mark our first point of interest. You see this candle? This is a valid pullback. On this particular move, I want us to draw a valid pullback. Right, let's just do it. Okay. So we have this. Let's start from the extreme. We have this, okay, we have this, right, and we have price pushing up. All right, this is a valid pullback. And we also have we have so sorry, we have this, we have valid pullback, this valid pullback, and not there. We have this, this is a single move, valid pullback, right, valid pullback, and price push up. So there's no confirmation that okay, we have a low or a dealing range yet until the inducement have been taken. Now that inducement have been taken, that's when we can now mark this zone. So let's now that we have our pullbacks, can now mark this zone. So we now have our areas. This is our daily range. So from the range low, where is it? Let me mark it out for you. From the range low to the range high, this is our daily range. So for those of you who use this Fibonacci retracement tool, this mechanical way of marking structure will actually help you big time. Like it will change a lot of things and improve your trading in general. Because if you can see, as you can see, this is the valid swing daily range, right? So if I'm to mark the zones, you can see where we see reactions, which is inside we sell at discount. We buy at discount rather and sell at premium, right? So this is exactly what it is. So we're going to mark the zones, and this is our zone. This is our zone. And take note that this is also a 4-hour zone. So I'm going to write it a 4-hour zone. And we also have another area here. Now take note of this. After the inducement, you mark out your point of interest. And we have one point of interest here, decisional point of interest, which is the first one. This is engineered. This is an engineered move. This one here is not actually valid. This is a single move. This one here, this is a single move. I'm just saying that now. And we have this, right? And that's why we can see this reaction. And most likely this is usually engineered liquidity. So we have H 4 hours here. Okay, so now that we have all of this, we now know where we are on the market, right? That if price can decide to move from here. So meaning that if price breaks this low, if price comes and breaks this low with body close, it means that we are now bearish. So what do? We simply wait for what? We wait for break of structure, and we wait for inducement. After inducement, we wait for change of character, and we can enter. I just hope this is clear. You can always rewatch this video, because on the first glance you are not really going to get it, but once you watch it again you are going to get it right. Okay, so let's map out our zones as well. So while we already know our daily range, we can actually sell into the discount zones. And where can we sell? This is our valid pullback. So if I may, this is our valid pullback. We have one here. Ouch, not you. Okay, we have a valid pullback here. This is all this is a single move. Okay, this is a single move. Okay, and we now have all these are single move actually, until here we have a valid pullback here and this move. Okay, so let me do that again so that it will be clear. All these are single move, but we are taught that all these are, this is a pullback. No, this is not valid. If you do it this way, most times you are going to get it wrong. All right, so we have this straight up, and we have this is a valid pullback, right? Yeah, this like this, right? So this is why we are going to mark this zone. So this shadow, as you can see, this is unmitigated, so this is a valid zone to mark for 4 hours. So remember, for 4 hour zones, you just have to look for lower time frame confirmations, because it's going to improve your profitability in general. So in order for us to do some real life examples, I'm going to use the replay feature now. So now that you've understood structure, we can go to the 15 minutes, and I will explain everything to you as well. So on the 15 minutes, we are going to use where's today. Let's look for today. Okay, this is the structure for today. All right, so for you to understand this, it is wise that we do this. So I'll go to the 15-minute chart, and on the 15-minute chart, this is what we are looking at. So first, this is the Asian session. This is the Asian session. Where are you now? Can we take this back? So okay, let's take this to 7:45 a.m. right? So but before then, can we just let's make this 7 o'clock, right, so that you will have full detailed explanation on how this work. Okay, so the next thing we want to draw our 15-minute structure. So we already identify our 4-hour zones, right? These are 4-hour zones. Now it is important to identify 15-minute structure. So on the 15 minutes, we have this as a valid zone, because this was also a tap into the higher time frame, right? So we also have this okay, we just have to first of all identify valid break of structure, valid pullback, then break of structure. So we have this as our break of structure. Or what am I doing? Okay, we have this as our break of structure, and what happened? There was no inducement, so the high has not been confirmed yet. All right, as you can see, all these are single move. You see, these are single move. So what we do is we can now see this as a break of structure. So what happened is this. Okay? So what happened is this. Automatically, there is now a transfer of break of structure. Okay, so let's do that. It's transfer of break of structure. Where is the my tool? Okay. All right. Okay. Where is it? I'm trying to get my tool, and let's see here. Okay, now what I want to do is, all right, so this is the tool. So we have a transfer of break of structure. Yeah, so break of structure have been transferred from here to here, meaning that we now have a new high, right? So we have this and we have this, but we don't have a confirmation yet whether price will continue or not. So we now have sorry, where is it? Okay, we now have a new zone and we now have a new low. So this also will transfer from here to here, and we have this as a single move. So there is no inducement yet. So to see an inducement, we just have to see this low taken first. So this low we have to be taken first. Once this is taken, then we can look for opportunities. So as you can see, this low was taken here, this low was taken here, meaning that this high have been confirmed. Automatically we now move this, so this will now move from here to here. All right, so our transfer of swing points is now here, and this is our low, so this is our daily range. So we now have a new zone. Okay, so this will also now transfer from here to here, transfer from here to here. The reason why it's transferring from here to here is simply because of the inducement. So we now have a new high. So where is the new high? It's here. This is the new high. All right, so but our low have not been confirmed yet. To confirm the low, we have to see an inducement first. So where is our possible inducement? We have one here. This is one. We have one here, and we also have another one here. This is no. Okay, we have another one here. This is another one. I know this can be too much for some of you, but you can always rewatch the video. Okay, so we have another one here. So this is a valid inducement. So inducement have been taken. So what happens? Automatically this low have been confirmed. So this is the lowest point. So what next? We now need to mark our point of interest. And where's our point of interest? This is where we begin to mark the zones where we want to look for potential sales. All right, so we have this zone. So this is a 15-minute zone, but take note, we have Asian high here as well, but this is structure. It's purely structure, and this is what we have for now. So if I'm to play price, okay, yeah, I think let me play price. Okay, so on the 15 minutes we now have this. So the timing is another thing entirely, right? I usually don't trade 7 a.m. I trade from 8 a.m. GMT plus 1 time, because most times the zones that will be created around 7 might be fixed zone. Okay, so that's why I really don't do that. Or otherwise there is nothing special about it. So we at this point we can actually go to lower time frame, and going to lower time frame we can look for potential entries. All right, what do we want to do? Okay, now that we have a tap on our zone, we need to look for our inducement, our change of character rather. So our actual change of character will be here. This will be our change of character, right? So once price comes and take this low, then we have our change of character. So as you can see, we now have our change of character here. So the next thing, and this is very important, you need to pay attention guys, is inducement. And where is our inducement in this move? Where's our inducement? So first I'm going to mark the valid pullback that we have right here. So this is what we have. This is the valid pullback that we have right there. Yes, I know it's not, most of you will see this as single pullback and see all of this as multiple. No, you are getting it wrong. All right, so this becomes our valid inducement point. So we are waiting for this to be taken before we take our sell. All right, so once you have this as a confirmation, most of the time you will understand that okay, price is going to go to your direction. All right, because you already know what you are doing, you already know where you are in the market. And another thing, your confidence is also going to increase generally. Okay, so literally we now have this as our inducement point. So where is our point of interest? So let's take this a little bit. So our point of interest, this becomes our point of interest. This is not our point of interest because this candle have been mitigated by this candle, right? And the next candle, which is this one, have mitigated this candle. So automatically we now have this zone left. This is the area we have left, right, for our sell. So literally what we do is very, very important. It's very vital because the way you handle this matters. Now I want to point out something to you guys. So I'm going to use this tool. You can see the time. This is 7:08 a.m. all right, and this most of the time this will work, right? But you must actually have an understanding of how this will work generally, because if you don't understand this, it will be difficult for you to have proper engagement on the chart. Okay, this is very very important, because it is one thing that will help you to structure things out. All right, so literally we can look for opportunities from this zone. So literally we can look for opportunities from this zone, and your stop loss can be a little bit above, but stop loss can be there, and you can target, you can actually target the overall low on the 15 minutes. All right, so let's see how it goes. Okay, let's play price. All right, now this is something you must understand. As earlier said, there's what's called the single move. Okay, so we have this zone, right? This was a valid entry, as you can see right there, and you see how precise these candles were. So another thing you can look into the 15 minutes area and wait for potential entries. All right, there's another thing you can as well do. Let me show you. Where are you? We have this on, and we also have, now take note of this, we have this. I take note, this is 7 a.m. and what did I say about 7 a.m. zone? So that's one of the reasons why I don't trade 7 a.m. Most times it can just sweep it a little bit. It's what's doing is, it is called pre-London session manipulation, right? Then what I would do in this case is my entry will actually be here, this zone. Why? Because you see this candle, let's zoom in so you can see better. This candle took out the previous candle, right? And this candle I've taken out this one. So automatically this becomes our single candle entry. So immediately this is taken, you can look for potential sales here, and your stop loss will have to be above the highest candle right there, and your take profit can beat the same target. All right, now let's assume that, okay, this was minus 1 hour, right? Look at this alone I've given you more than that's about. So let's take this to the 5-minute time frame, for instance. So on the 5-minute time frame, okay, this is the 5-minute time frame. Remember, this is our low is intact, and you could just target that low, and you can see this is 1 to 10. So you lost minus 1 hour and you gain 10 hour. Why? Because of understanding, right? Now there's another thing. On the 5 minutes, you can see how precise this were, right? This candle took out the previous candle, and on the 1 minute you could see that it's actually clearer there. So if we go to the 15 minutes, I actually wanted to show you another trade I took today, which is 2nd of August. Let's see if we can get this done. All right, so this is another one, right? And this is 15-minute time frame, right? So literally we can look for, we have our valid, yes, this is a valid move, and we have a break of structure here. So after break of structure, what are we supposed to look at? We're actually supposed to look at what? Inducement, right? So where is our valid? This is our valid area. This one here is our valid zone. This is very important, guys. This is what will tell you, okay, price will go up or will come down, because this is the only way you can begin to mark out your valid swing point. So we have one here, and after this confirmation we have another one here, okay, because this is not a valid pullback. Okay, so let's play price and see. Okay, so another thing I want you to understand is this. Look at this. We have this candle mitigating this already, and we now have where are you? So literally we can now mark this zone, have this, because you see all of these have been mitigated. They have been mitigated except for the shadow. So you might want to also mark the shadow. So that's what we have. This is what we have if you are to mark out the shadow area. So the next thing I want you to understand is structure on where, on, let's say, on the 5 minutes and so on. So if we go to the 5 minutes time frame, we have this. So where can we mark? We can mark this area, this whole zone, because this is where we have the valid move. All right, we have this candle sweeping the previous candle, this candle taking the other one, and we also have this as our change of character, because this don't have been mitigated, and we have our change of character here. All right, this is our change of character. So remember, we are looking for what? We're looking for selling opportunities now, because we are selling into the zones. All right, so what next? So permit me, if I'm to use the replay feature again, so that you have understand how it plays out. So after the change of character on the 5-minute time frame, right, you want to mark out valid zones. So how do you see these valid zones? Remember, we have to wait for what? Wait for valid inducement to be taken. So in this case, where is the inducement in this leg? This is the actual inducement in this leg, and you see it is no news. Price comes and took everything out. Yeah, price comes, takes it out. So we have our valid inducement right there. So after our inducement, we can literally look for selling opportunities without wasting most of the time. Okay, without wasting the time, we can look for our selling opportunity. Right, but before this happened, another thing I want to point out here is the fact that this was a valid zone, but it's just that we're waiting for inducement. And another thing is, actually took this trade, this particular one here, and look at this. This is 7 a.m. Can you see that? Exactly 7 a.m. candle, and you see the sweep. So previously, which was the previous one example I showed you, it's almost the same thing, right? So this is something that you can add to your trading arsenal, and you will see that your trading will improve. So in this case, what I did was I actually drew this wick, because this whole zone, there is no other area which have not been mitigated and which is as valid as this. So in this whole zone, this is the most valid one, right? And we already have our change of character here. So if we go to the 1-minute time frame, what do we find? So on the 1-minute time frame, this is what we get, right? As you can see, it is the only valid zone on this whole move. All these are not valid zone. So if this high is taken, it means this whole zone might likely be taken. Right? I hope you understand. So what I did is we just have to wait for single entries. All right, we just have to wait for single entries. And one of the way to do that, you see this candle, this, and boom, here we have this, and your stop loss will have to be above this high. All right, but as earlier said, I took this trade initially, and what my stop loss was a little bit higher, like this. Yes, something like this, which was very a little bit tight, but I had it in mind. I understood, and I sent this. Actually, I said, okay, if price comes in, okay, this is 1.4, so I think I extended it to somewhere, because of this zone. On a norm, this would have been my actual stop loss, this one here, but because this is a red zone for me, and the time, price and timing is very important as well, so I have to use this other high. So what happened? Price comes in, so I was actually targeting the low. All right, even though I know I'm going to take some profit off the chart, and we have this on, and I also extended this using the 5 minutes to the downside. All right, so for now, for the sake of tutorial, we have something like this. All right, so you see price actually pushed down nicely, right? And at this point in time, okay, 8 o'clock just got hit, so I was anticipating for price to to do something. I was actually expecting something like this, and what happened? Price came and boom, it gave a 4 arrow, and this was the trade also I sent to the FXTD VIP signals. 4 arrow was hit, right? Then we saw a reversal. So you imagine that you are getting 4 arrow risk to reward, right? So we have this doing what? Sweeping this high. What's price doing? Sweeping these highs, and immediately this high was swept. I was also waiting for further confirmation, which is the single candle confirmation, and I'm going to show you once that happened. So this is the single candle confirmation. So at this point in time, I also took another entry, and this time around it has to be here, and my stop loss will be a little bit above this zone. I think it was something like this, and we can literally target the same zone. Like, we can target the hard time frame. I was targeting the hard time frame, which is the 5 minutes. So once this tags us in, we'll go there and I will show you. All right, so we're not tagged yet, right? We're not tagged yet, and okay, we have not been tagged yet. So okay, So at this point we have been tagged in. Let's see how it goes to. So you see price began to move. You see this, and immediately I saw this, I was almost confident that okay, a price would definitely go down to an extent. So on the 5 minutes, where is the actual target, right? You see, you can actually target this low of which price have come to take before, right? You see this, all these are liquidity. We have more build up of liquidity. And remember, we have some zone below that we're actually looking at, right? So these are the zones we're looking at, right? So you can literally target the zones. So I think I did something like this. Okay, yep, yeah. So this, which was at 1 to 10, I was actually targeting 1 to 10, but I don't know how far. So immediately this liquidity was swept, I actually took profit. Okay, if you're on my free Telegram channel, you should see it, and you can see I took profit, and here is price currently, and boom, right? So this is the current price action. You can see 10 arrow. All you have to do is understand structure and you are good to go. All right, so thank you for watching the video to the end. Please smash the like button. You see, it took me time to explain all of this to you. Encourage by smashing the like button and subscribe to the channel. Okay, see you in my next video, guys, and peace. Meanwhile, join me on free Telegram and Instagram as well, and peace.